Hey, this is Piano Spun Yarns, and you are here for day 6 of the World of Wool Advent Calendar, where I am pulling a wool every day, talking about the country of origin and the tradition, and also spinning that yarn to add into my Advent coat. I want to take a quick second and thank you for being here for day 6. If you've been following along for the first 5 days, or if this is your first day seeing this Advent spin along, I'm really happy to have you here. Thank you so much. For day 6, our blend comes from New Zealand, the same place as my manual spinning wheel. The blend is called Pohutukawa. Pohutukawa, I think. The blend is made of Corriedale, New Zealand wool, and sari silk. So Corriedales are very prominent in New Zealand, but New Zealand is famous for wools of all kinds. I would assume that the New Zealand wool that we're talking about is some kind of merino cross. They're very famous for their merinos. In fact, when I ordered my Ashford Joy, I ordered it directly from Ashford, and they sent a packet of New Zealand merino with the wool itself to try. They're very proud of their wool. So clearly there was going to be some New Zealand wool in here. And our last thing is sari silk, which doesn't have a material connection with New Zealand, but after learning about this tradition, I think I might know how it looks in the blend. So let's get to opening. This blend has a lot going on, and it makes sense knowing what the tradition is based off of. I kind of expected it to be all bright scarlet. I thought the whole blend might just be scarlet, but instead we're seeing some browns, we're seeing some greens. The greens are harder to see. And running through it all, we have these big, bright splotches of sari silk. Sari silk is a recycled type of silk fiber made from saris, so it often has kind of neps or pieces of fabric still in them, so it's not as smooth, which is going to give our yarn this really flowered effect, which I think will make a lot of sense in our finished yarn. I also have a little bit more of the coat to show you. I want to drop this color still connected because I'm going to use it next. These two are going to work together. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to do it, even though if I were choosing colors for color work, I would never pair these two together. But that's kind of the spirit of the Advent calendar, is to use the colors that come in succession. So they are different enough that I think you're going to be able to tell them apart. I don't know how well they work together otherwise, but we are going to find out. I just added for this next section another round of increases, so it now sits just a little bit further than my waistline and is starting to increase in size. And I really loved the way that this gray played with the pinks from yesterday. It's a really cute pattern. I kind of wish it had a little more space to show off, but maybe today we'll pick a bigger motif. Let's see what we get. Day 6's motif is, we're getting more of these geometric shapes. So this one, again, the motif we just did was also 11 stitches tall. This one is 11 stitches tall. I can't really tell which side it's gonna look more like because the colors are so kind of out there. But we're working with those geometric patterns. This time we have kind of a double striped diamond going on. which will look really cool in the finished coat, especially now that I have got my color dominance down. I'm gonna get the spinning wheel set up and start spinning so that I can tell you about the Pohutukawa. I can already tell that this is gonna be another really textured yarn. In fact, this might be the most textured yarn yet. Also, I knock on wood, but I can already tell that we have such better color selection from last year. Last year I remember feeling like every color we got was either white or blue, and they were such beautiful blends, but overall there wasn't a lot of color diversity. And I don't know if the calendar last year had a theme. I don't really remember it having a theme, but I think the theming this year is just such a beautiful, beautiful touch. The Pohutukawa is a tree in New Zealand, and it symbolizes Christmas for the people of New Zealand. It's often referred to as the Kiwi Christmas tree. This is a big, sprawling, kind of gnarly looking tree. I'll try to put a picture up for you here, that is covered in these beautiful bunches of bright scarlet flowers, which is why this blend reminds me so much of the tree itself, because we have the base of this brown and green, and every once in a while you just get that splotch of scarlet red, which is really reminiscent of the tree. I'm getting really lost in this spin, actually. It's so much fun. I'm just gonna stop here and take a sample so you can hopefully see what I mean. We're really getting these textured bits where the sari silk is, and when the yarn is finished, give myself a sample here. We're gonna have these spots where you just have a really thick kind of scarlet flower on the yarn. I'm gonna have to spin this thinner overall, but it's such a cool effect. The Pohutukawa tree is used as a symbol in children's Christmas songs, as well as in greeting cards, and just generally as the national symbol of a Kiwi Christmas. The tree also holds a really important place in Maori legends. It is said that a young warrior named Tahaki was attempting to reach heaven to avenge his father's death, but he fell back to earth and his blood splattered the tree. And it is thought that the flowers on the Pohutukawa tree, Pohutukawa, I'm trying so hard, Pohutukawa tree represent his blood. The flowers are used as decorations and are used to adorn Christmas tables and have been for over 200 years in New Zealand. I'm really excited to see what this yarn ends up looking like, so the next time you see this yarn, it will be finished. This is the finished yarn for the day. I quite like it, and you can tell that it's got some really textured spots. Let's see if I can find, like one of the really large neps of mulberry silk. It really does remind me of the tree. Unfortunately, it would not run clear. It just kept bleeding. I did 2 washes. They were totally pink. I then spun it in a salad spinner and then washed it with Power Scour and did 2 more rinses, and it ran pink every time, and not just a little, like a lot. I dye also, so I know that you can expect a little bleeding, just depending on how hard or soft your water is compared to where it was dyed. But this was a little, I would say, unacceptable. I know that because sari silk is a recycled product, they can't really control the dye quality of the sari silk itself. But just a warning, because I know you can buy these blends after Advent if you want to. Just a warning that this one really bleeds. I hope you enjoyed learning about the Pohutukawa tree in New Zealand and its importance to Christmas in the New Zealand culture. I'll be back tomorrow for day 7 for a new yarn and a new motif and a little bit more of the coat. Thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow. Sari silk. Sari silk is a recycled type of silk fire. I'm going to set up the spinning wheel so that I can get to spinning and telling you about the Pohutukawa. I'm going to get the spinning wheel set up and start spinning.